Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all smiling because it's now the 1st of October, year 2020, and we start with the new month. Hopefully, something better, something that gives us motivation because I know some of my friends have started to think Christmas. Some people are already doing their 100 days to Christmas countdown. Some people, I know of some villages that are already putting up their belens or nativity scenes at their gates. So medyo meron pong ika nga, pagbabago ng konti sa tono. People are going to have Christmas no matter what, and that's a good way to start October. In a country where Christmas is the longest. As I mentioned, it is October 1, 2020. It's a Thursday. And for today, we will have quite a tight lineup because there's a lot of stuff happening all over the country and in the Philippine politics as well. First up, we will be speaking with Secretary Ramon Lopez of the Department of Trade and Industry because Secretary Lopez has been calmly, humbly, but persistently been pushing for the transition of Metro Manila, the National Capital Region, and the rest of the country to a more relaxed community quarantine so that more businesses can open up. And failing to do that because the Metro Manila mayor said they want to extend the GCQ in Metro Manila. Secretary Lopez has said, well, if that can't be, then maybe we should just allow the companies, the factories, etc., to scale up in terms of operations, because right now I think only 50% of staff are allowed, 50% capacity for operations is allowed, and Secretary Lopez wants more. So let's find out what is the state of trade and industry in the country, and what does he hope to see in the next few months, especially with Christmas coming up. After Secretary Lopez, we will speak with Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Governor Ben Diokno, and siya po imbitahin natin to become our professor today because it was the BSP, Governor Diokno, who pushed for the lowering of interest rates on credit card. Medyo yun po, nasasamid ako, isipin ko lang at sabihin ko lang. Because apparently, in some, I don't know if it was an exaggeration, but let's find out from Governor Ben Diokno that there are companies that were charging up to as much as 58% in interest rates. Ewan ko kung compounded yun or whatever, I don't know much about credit cards. But right now, we need to learn about our credit cards and why the central bank is pushing for a limit of 24%. Now, also, there is a suggestion, or I think it's going to be a policy of the BSP to insist on, nakalimutan ko yung tawag, parang centralized paying, e-payment system or something. Tatanungin natin siya because the government and the BSP in particular wants to really shepherd the Filipinos from cash-heavy to cashless transactions. Mabuti na rin yun para mabawasan yung mga hold-up na yan. After Governor Ben Diokno, we've invited Congressman, party list, Buhay party list Congressman Lito Atienza, regular as well on agenda, to give us some insights on what really happened in Congress, why he voted for Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano to stay on as Speaker, even though he's, kumbaga yung bitaw ng bibig, kabig ng dibdib. Let's find out. And then we will speak for all of you who are plantitos and plantitas. We will be speaking with Melody Del Rosario, President of the Metro Pacific Investments Foundation, kasi meron silang ginawang program all about plants, all about planting, all about helping poor communities and uplifting Filipinos. So we will do all that. So let's move on to the news for today. Let's find out or hear from the stories from the front page of the Philippine Star. House votes to keep Taguig Congressman Alan Peter Cayetano as Speaker after he offered to resign yesterday. House lawmakers voted 184 to 1 with 9 abstentions to reject Cayetano's offer to resign, which would have been effective today. However, it's still unclear whether Cayetano intends to honor a reported agreement brokered by President Rodrigo Duterte to turn over the speaker post to Marinduque Representative Lord Alan Velasco. We will speak with Congressman Lito Atienza of Buhay Party List to better understand this controversy surrounding the House speakership. Importante yan po, especially if you are students of political science, because this is going to be a point of education for some of you there. Number 2, Task Force PhilHealth, led by Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara, revealed that their recommendation is to reorganize PhilHealth and not abolish it. Guevara said this to reporters through a text message, also adding that they recommended to create an interim management committee. President Duterte earlier said that he considers abolishing PhilHealth or privatizing it. However, Secretary Guevara believes the president has not yet made a final decision on what to do with PhilHealth. And the Philippine National Police has reached out to Facebook to ask for the list of fake accounts recently taken down by the company. Okay, PNP spokesperson Ismael Yu said that this is to find out who are behind the fake accounts, man, and who are supposedly linked to police and military due to coordinated inauthentic behavior. Ayan po. Okay, medyo distracted ako kasi bago ang aming setup. Now, let's move on to the program. I don't know if Secretary Mon Lopez is already available. Let's find out from the team. Okay, he's available. Secretary Mon Lopez, good morning, sir.
Sito at saka sa inyong mga nanonood.
Okay, alam ko sir, pagod na pagod ka na, kulang ka pa sa tulog. Pagpasensya mo na, we just needed an update on everything that's happening. What is the state of trade and industry in the Philippines right now? Because everyone has been talking about COVID this, COVID that, pero mahalaga mapag-usapan yung trade and state of trade and industry.
Okay, well, in general, of course, we're all affected by the lockdown. So, on the macro level, maraming, of course, down lahat, no? GDP down by 16.5%, unemployment 17.7%. Last April, although with the reopening at saka nag-easing of community lockdown from ECQ, MECQ, and GCQ, we saw improvement in the unemployment rate from 17.7 to 10%. Yung mga exports din natin, which used to be positive pre-pandemic, declined by 1/2 noong April, parang down by 50%. But again, the following months, umaakyat na siya, minus 9% na lang siya, imbis na minus 15. So we're seeing signs of recovery. Especially nga as we are reopening the economy. That's the reason why I think after 6 months of in this lockdown situation, which we know the lockdown has proven to be effective kasi tayo yung one of the lowest country rin affected in terms of death per 100,000 population. We're like 3.3, no, compared to the 50 plus of many countries, even big countries. So effective in lockdown. But at the same time, we believe that after 6 months, we've learned how to live with the virus in terms of managing it, protecting ourselves, wearing masks, dinagdagan pa natin ng shield, naka-improve yan ng mga numero in the recent past.
Mhm.
Yung R naught and all these health statistics have improved significantly, I must say. That's the reason why I was thinking that before the October 1, we can already move on to a lighter community quarantine, because my assumption is even if we move to MGCQ, yung ating minimum health standard will not change. Yung
Mhm.
enforcement natin will not change in terms of tracing, isolating the positive. Pare-pareho pa rin yan. Mas mahigpit pa din. And we have a strict workplace health protocol. Kaya I was confident. But at the same time, the difference lang naman kasi that I was trying to push for, is reopening the economy pag nag-MGCQ. Now that we are GCQ, our move is still to reopen the economy. So kaya
Mhm.
okay din naman yung GCQ until now, as long as we will be opening up the other sectors that remain to be partially closed. No? When I say
Mhm.
partially closed, under GCQ, they are allowed at 50% nga lang. So we're saying,
Yeah.
itong mga 50%, pwede na yan mag 100%. So yan
Mhm.
yung mga example. And karamihan dito, mga safe sectors in terms of transmission. Wala. Ano yan, mga usually services, no? Yung legal, accounting, engineering, architectural services, management consultancy, programming, IT, and similar uh, services. Even those retail, wholesaler retail activities, 50%, even those retailers in the malls, 50% capacity, pwede na 100%. At least yung mga
Mhm.
workers nila, lalo na pag bumabalik na yung consumers, kasi ngayon hindi pa rin naman bumabalik, but at least they have a free hand if they want their workers to report already. And that
Yeah.
would mean, ang habol natin lang naman dito, more jobs, di ba? More income for our kababayan, because especially about 2 days ago, we even saw the latest numbers na yung hunger is worse, yung business confidence, the plans to expand. Meron pa rin kasi mga ibang nagpa-plan mag-expand, I think 20%. Eh dati yun 30%. Parang sinabi nila bumaba yung business
What
confidence.
what area or what industry have expressed na kahit sa COVID-19 they still want to do expansion?
Marami naman kasing nag-grow din dito during the pandemic because of yung mga essential sectors, food, they remained
Mhm.
open kasi even during ECQ, agriculture, mga agribusiness, especially pag agribusiness, makaramihan doon food products, pag process mo yung agriculture product. So,
Mhm.
may mga growth areas pa din. Yung especially ito rin, yung food preparation, online business, delivery, logistics, growing pa rin yung mga yan. So we can expect then mga expansion in those businesses. But the other parts of and of course their value chain, sasama rin yan sa growth. But the other
Yeah.
parts, of course, hindi sila growth.
What areas are critical or substantial as far as you're concerned? Kasi yesterday, medyo ano naman to, yung akin kasi simpleng example lang, taong kalye, no? May nakausap kasi ako secretary kahapon. Ano siya architect siya. He works in Saudi Arabia. And sabi niya, Kuyang, I have a job waiting in Saudi. Ayaw naman kaming paalisin ng Pilipinas. Paano kami magpapadala ng pera sa Pilipinas kung yung merong mga trabaho hindi makaalis? And that's just one. I've spoken to several. Ngayon, dito naman sa businesses, I've heard the same lamentation. It's like we can produce, sabi mo nga, sa agriculture, pero ano pang areas ang palagay mo, Secretary, na kailangan i-prioritize natin dahil may pera? Because some might say dapat yung mining pabayaan magbukas kasi malaki pera doon. Ano po bang areas dapat?
Actually, nabanggit mo yung mining, isa rin pala yan sa 50% ngayon na pwede namang
Mhm.
actually i-expand na rin to 100%. Of course, the
Mhm.
areas na kailangan talagang makabalik would be tourism. But they're doing it carefully, safely. Kaya si Secretary Berna has been talking to different LGUs na, as you know, kahit nag-modify GCQ ng LGUs, in our definition, pwede ng tourism, but hindi automatic. That they're
Mm. Oh, delayed. Okay, I think we've had a technical problem because the video of Secretary Ramon Lopez is hanging. There we go. Okay, back on air, Secretary.
Yeah,
Munti ko na
oo.
sabihin, Congressman.
I was
Wag!
saying na nawala pala dito. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I was saying nga that I don't know kung narinig yung sinabi ko the last no, yung tourism is one sector that
Mm.
has to recover, and but there's a lot of coordination being done, DOT and LGUs, kasi kahit modified GCQ, hindi pa rin automatic ino-open yung tourism. Tinatimingan nila, even
Because,
Baguio,
yeah,
Bohol.
but a lot of Filipinos don't realize this. People might say, tourism, ano ba naman yan? Parang luxury lang yan. But they don't understand the movement of cash, the
Yeah,
movement of supply chain, etc.
oo.
Ano? Mhm.
Maraming MSMEs yan, di ba? Yung restaurant, yung nagsusupply sa restaurant, yung even farming activities, yung services, yung transportation, magdadala sa
Mhm.
iyo from the airport to the hotel and back, no? Yung mga services doon sa tourist area. So maraming
Mhm.
SMEs na involved diyan. Maraming trabaho rin diyan. Uh,
What other areas, Secretary? Yung kumbaga ipaglalaban mo na ng pitpitan kasi ah, marami talagang bansa ngayon are struggling to get their economy up and running.
Oo. Actually, so ganito. So kung talagang paglalaban natin pa, aside from yung mga open na, manufacturing, karamihan
Mhm.
100% open na. No?
Mhm.
So yung ang mga sumusunod talaga itong services that I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
kailangan from 50 to 100 they can open. And then the other thing would be, if you look at to yung mga businesses in many cities, restaurants. So yung restaurants natin, controlled pa rin siya, mga 50% pa rin yan. But in this particular case, we will issue an advisory na we will allow LGUs to open much more from 50 to 100 depending on yung location nila ng mga restaurants. Pwede pang dagdagan ng operating capacity up to the point na may physical distancing pa rin na ma-observe. So it could be 70, it could be 80%. No? But the other thing is that they should not be like food establishment, they should open even beyond curfew. In fact, dapat wala silang curfew. Kasi may mga kumakain pa din middle of the night, lalo na yung mga workers at night or
Mhm.
night shift. So dapat allowed sila to operate. So that is a big boost then because restaurants account for kulang-kulang 2 million involved yan, excluding pa yung mga suppliers. So maraming involved na trabaho dyan. That's the reason why we were pushing for not only delivery, kundi yung dine-in. And now we're
Mhm.
talking of dine-in even beyond, to be allowed beyond yung curfew. In fact, to remove the curfew na sana. I
Yeah,
hope,
I think they're discussing that in the next meeting na tanggalin na yung curfew dahil apektado talaga. How has COVID-19 affected the business processing industry, yung mga call centers, etc.?
um, affected in terms of yung maybe a little higher cost in their operation.
Mhm.
Why? Because even during ECQ and modified ECQ, we allowed them to operate, but we were requiring them to house, have accommodation, temporary accommodation for their people, for their workers,
Mhm.
para less movement, hindi sila makadagdag dun sa transportation problems nung at the start pa, ECQ. But the point is, we allow them to operate 100 una 50%, then work from home yung iba. And then by this time, I think GCQ, at the start of GCQ, 100% na sila. No? So, ang BPO natin, hindi naman siya naging masyado affected kasi we allowed them to operate. Just like exporters.
Mhm.
Right from the start of the pandemic, hindi naman natin in-stop or ininto. We allowed them to operate. We just asked them to provide accommodation near the plant and provide shuttle services.
Mhm.
So tuloy-tuloy naman sila. Walang
You mentioned shuttle services, Mr. Secretary. What is the plan of the government? Because marami naman na nagsasabi na talaga that if we want transportation, we have no choice but to support the transport companies and owners na either bigyan sila ng gasoline subsidy or a operating subsidy because we want only 50% passengers. We want 1 meter distancing. And we want the ride. Parang we cannot have the cake and eat it too unless we pay for the cake, so to speak.
Correct. Oo, tama yun. That's the reason why we, in the Bayanihan too,
Mhm.
there's a fund for the transportation sector for those affected operators and
Mhm.
drivers. So meron silang ano dyan, fund support. I just don't remember the number for
Yeah.
transportation. Oo.
But ayoko naman pag-awayin kayo no ng LTFRB o ng DOTR. But the sentiment is the transport industry is threatened, so to speak. Kumbaga sa hayop, endangered species na sila or something. Itong transport is threatened kasi marami nang nakaparada na lang, nasisira na yung mga sasakyan, pero mabagal ang galaw ng LTFRB. Is there any effort with the DTI and LTFRB to push this to become faster?
Are you referring to ano to, yung mga ano yung
Itong
mabagal?
allocation, mabagal yung pagbigay ng allocation, pag-process. Kasi like tingnan niyo nangyari, pinush niyo na mag-open yung mga
Ah,
provincial buses, walang tumakbo. Sabi, naku,
ah,
lugi kami, walang mangyayari sa amin.
Oh, okay. If you're referring to dun sa mga plans ng transportation, actually
Mm.
we're coordinating in the IETF, sila DOTR naman, sila Sectogade, have been
Mhm.
presenting yung plans nila, excuse me, mga plans nila to increase yung ridership, yung
Mhm.
capacity. Sa dinamihan na nila yung a bit of yung capacity per train, no? Per car
Mhm.
of the train, tapos yung mga they're fielding in more jeepneys dun sa mga routes, they're opening more routes. Tapos yung frequency daw, yung speed, mas mabilis ang frequency para mas in the end, mas malaki yung capacity. Recognizing kasi nga na handicap sila because of the physical distancing, yung
Mhm.
capacity na dating 100%, at the most, I think 50% ang kanilang fill up ngayon. Pero at least they have moves na pwedeng nakatayo ngayon, still maintaining the 1 meter physical distancing. So, may mga moves sila na to increase. Pero syempre, kulang pa din kasi nga ang laki ng pagka-handicap nila, yung maraming bawal. No? That's the reason why they are itong busway, dinagdagan nila, nagdadagdag pa sila ng buses. And yung
Mhm.
jeepneys, ang balita ko, they're opening up more routes for yung
Yeah.
dating siyan sarado. Hindi nga lang lahat sila bigla-bigla na inopen lahat sabay-sabay. I think over the weeks or months, ganun yung movement nila. Yung mga PUVs, hindi na nila ni-require ng LTFRB for them to be used as shuttle services para nga ma-facilitate din yung hanap buhay ng mga drivers ng mga jeepneys na dating may ruta at kung walang ruta
Mhm.
ngayon, pwede rin gamitin for
Okay.
shuttle services.
You just to recap, you're basically pushing for a higher percentage of operation of companies, factories, and services, and
Correct.
perhaps, hopefully, the removal or the reduction of the curfew
Removal of curfew.
hours, removal of curfew. Now, meron ba tayong mga win-loss na situations where we are going to definitely lose a certain industry or businesses because of the nature of COVID-19 and its effects. Pero merong new and emerging. Kasi parang naisip ko lang, Secretary, naku, siguro ang sarap magtayo ng bicycle factory ngayon. Yung mga ganon. Meron ka bang discover na, okay, nalugit, ito, wag nyo nang pasukin itong mga businesses na ito kasi wala na, sunset industries na yan. Pero ito na yung mga emerging new industries. Kasi like, alam mo kahapon, nakaikot kasi ako kahapon for official purposes. Halos lahat yata ng kantong napuntahan ko may nagbebenta ng halaman eh. Itong plantita talagang marami ng pumasok. Every street corner, there's someone selling plants in front of their gate or their sari-sari store. What are the emerging businesses or industry na you've seen?
Well, you've seen a lot of growth in the food establishments and
Mm,
delivery. So yung
okay.
mga dating nawalan ng trabaho ngayon delivery services sila. Naka-bike, naka-bisikleta, naka-motor, o kaya ay naka-grab din sila, and Grab
Mhm,
is continuing din. So ayan ang lumaking sector, yung take home, yung delivery sector, and practically any product for that matter. But there, syempre, dumami rin yung mga food services, creativity in food, naglabasan. May mga nag-focus sa mga sushi bake or minsan mga fresh farm produce, no?
mm,
Na talagang, at saka nag-grocery, ano na sila, no? Nagdi-deliver, nag-grocery para sa iyo. Talagang service-oriented. Yan yung mga dumami talaga ngayon. Yung
mhm,
registered po sa DTI, yung online business, January to March lang, 1,700 ang nag-register. Pero
mhm,
mula March hanggang end August, 80,000. Ganyan kadami yung pumasok. Doon pa lang sa nag-register, and marami
mhm.
pa rin hindi registered. So,
People are actually registering now. Parang mas
isa pa rin
nagkaroon sila,
yan.
naging conscious na sila na to register with DTI.
Correct. Oo. Kasi we've been pushing naman itong pag-register, pero I think yung marami ring that shows also yung mga nag-shift ngayon sa business ng mga maliliit na ganito. We're usual professionals. Sanay sila na above board, nagre-register. Kaya
Mhm,
nag-iisip sila na ngayon may business sila, gusto nila, kailangan registered. So yung mga profile din ng mga nag-MSME ngayon are former professional, kaya sanay sila mag-rehistro. Sanay
mhm,
sila kumpleto dapat yung dokumento. Unlike the MSMEs of before, syempre maraming livelihood talaga dyan, hindi sanay pang mag-rehistro kahit inaalalayan natin. So, yun
mhm,
yung mga growth areas definitely.
mhm,
Obviously, yung mga tinamaan, anything on entertainment, anything on, di ba, yung mga live performances, events na wala na, no?
mhm,
Yung mga pubs, yung mga inuman dati, beer houses, those kinds of yung establishments, ayun yung matagal kasing sarado eh. And even in
mhm.
modified GCQ, limitado pa rin sila. So, ano talaga, this will be the affected sectors. At ganun nga, nakita natin, yung mga nabawalan dati, even yung mga employed dati na walang trabaho, nakakahanap ng ibang opportunities na mga businesses.
Mhm. Okay, now what about petroleum? Kasi nagiging issue yung petroleum because of what happened to Shell. They shut down the refinery and because the global market is also depressed about petroleum. Yan bang industry na yan, ano ang reading ninyo, Secretary? Kasi
Uh,
maraming may mga pumasok sa gas station before COVID-19 eh. Eh sabi ko, mabubuhay pa kaya itong mga 'to?
Yeah, marami ring hindi na bumabiyahe ngayon. So, I'm sure
Hmm,
affected yung sales nila. Pero not as much as those in tourism, those in yung binanggit natin ng mga entertainment, services, live
mhm,
events. It's a basic commodity. No? So, ano pa rin yan, kailangan pa din yan. Yung petroleum naman, yung refinery, ang natanggal dito, but the business is still here. So, there
mhm,
will still be, yun nga lang, instead na dito nire-refinery, ay in-import na, refined products na.
mhm,
Kaya may mga nawalan ng trabaho dyan. But ang nangyayari, but on the retail distribution, I think it's still the same. No? So,
hmm,
hindi masyadong affected yung downstream,
mhm.
especially on the distribution side. But of course, as much as possible, we want yung processing dito sa atin, sa ating bayan.
Okay, any last minute announcements? Baka meron kayong hindi pa nababanggit diyan. Please take advantage of the time, Secretary.
Thank you po, Kuya Cito. Bali, ito po, the move that we will issue, I think today, we're finishing the draft, is to reopen those 50% up to 100% yung mga services for the LGUs to help us determine na lang especially those LGUs in Metro Manila, we leave it to them as to the extent of reopening or of the restaurants that dine in from 50 to 100%. Anywhere between 50 to 100%, it would be their call as to also the services, ano, yung menu offering, as well as yung operating hours. We're saying that we can allow them to, especially the food establishment, pwedeng mag-open 24/7 together with their delivery services. And then yung barbershop salons, we can safely increase it from 50 to 75%. Again, assuring naman yung mga physical distancing. And then we leave it to the LGUs yung dito nga sa the dine-in. And then we won't touch the other sectors muna that under MGCQ. Kasi ito namang mga re-reopen natin, marami na itong mga jobs na mababalik natin. So that's what we need. And also, we'll continue to support some micro SMEs. Thank you to our legislators, the Senate and Congress, giving 10 billion pesos sa Small Business Corporation and some funds also to Land Bank DBP na allocate for the small sector, the MSME sector. But yung 10 billion na yan, 6 billion for tourism kasi ito yung malaking naapektuhan. 6 billion for micro SMEs in tourism and the 4 billion for MSMEs in general. So ang SB Corp ang mag-manage yan. They will lend directly. This is the one, the loan that we are giving out, zero interest and 6% service. It's like this interest, pero 6% lang for 12 months. And may 6-month grace period. So yun, mababa na. I think around 4%.
But is that loan primarily for based or magbibigay kayo ng pautang para sa isang particular project like renovation or lifeline ba yan? Is it going to be a lifeline loan?
This is really lifeline, Cito. Kasi maraming MSME, that's one sector that I would have added earlier when asking sino yung sector na critical natin tulungan. Kasi they, you know, MSMEs, they account for 65 to 70% of employment, no? And 99.6% of enterprises. So marami talaga tong sector na to. So ito kailangan mabigyan ng lifeline para yung mga nagtatrabaho dito, yun ang masave. Kasi importante yung saving the jobs that will bring back consumer confidence. Kasi pag walang trabaho, walang confidence. They will conserve cash. Hindi gagastos yan. Ang target natin, buy, local. No? So, kailangan may trabaho, may confidence para bumili uli yung mga kababayan natin. May pambili rin sila. So again, yun lang yung kaya nahabol natin, part of the re-stimulating demand para yung economy natin can recover.
Siguro, suggestion na lang, Sec. Alam ko
sir.
naman, ikaw magbababilis ka pumikap eh. Kasi noon, matagal naming sinasabi sa DOH, ikampanya na it's safe to go to hospitals. And ngayon po, panay ko nang nadidinig sa radyo yung commercials nila na tungkol sa how safe it is to go to hospitals. In fact, yesterday, I visited the Asian Hospital. Ang nakakalungkot lang doon, yung pinunta namin doon kasi magsasara na yung isang restaurant na siniservisan ng kaibigan ko. Kanya sabi ko parang wow, ito yung impact ng COVID-19. But the hospital itself was safe. Perhaps sa DTI, masuggest ko lang, siguro magtulungan tayo i-promote yung buy. Kasi pag dito napapag-usapan ko, may mga kaibigan ako nagsasabi, alam mo, nung nag-usap kayo ni Secretary Lopez, sinabi ko doon sa asawa ko, mamili ka ng gamit para may matulungan tayong Pilipino. I-advertise natin, Sec, para mapasok sa utak ng Pilipinong Pilipino lang ang makakatulong sa kapwa Pilipino.
Tama po. Yes, sir. Kaya importante yan, buy local, go local. So even sa mga government projects, na-encourage natin, buy local.
Okay. Thank you very much, Secretary Ramon Lopez. Congratulations for doing such a good job and for, keeping things stable in the area of trade and industry. God bless you, sir.
Salamat po. Mabuhay po kayo, Mr. Cito.
Okay. Yan po, si Secretary Ramon Lopez, matagal ko na pong nakakatrabaho si Secmon. Hindi po siya secretary noon, pero talagang masipag, masigasig. And a lot of us can pick up from the guy because, he's such a humble guy. He's such an encouraging person. And he just brings stability to situations. So nakikita ninyo hindi siya riled up when certain things happen. And ayun makumbaba, sana maalis na lang po yung curfew, sana 100% na yung mga industries. Parang kalihim siya, pwede naman sabihin, hindi, kailangan pero sa kanya, sana. And let's all pick up from that. Hindi po yung tayo medyo kumukulo ang dugo. Okay, we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, let's go to Governor Ben Diokno of the BSP para pag-usapan itong cap sa mga credit card ninyo. Kasi pag hindi, gunting ang katapat. Here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran and you are watching us via Signal TV channels 8 and 250. At kung wala pa po kayong signal, habol-habol na, madali-madali kasi magbabakbaka na ang LA Lakers versus Miami Heat. Sayang pag hindi nyo napanood. Tapos, nako po, ito good news. Malapit na yung PBA bubble. Kahapon, nag-post yung kaibigan kong si Rina Di Makulangan. Nakalimutan ko bigla yung family name. Si Rina, yung nagpadala siya ng pictures ng mga PBA players na papunta doon sa New Clark City for the PBA. In any case, we'll pick up on that a little more later in the show or in another episode. But in the meantime, if you are like me, depending on your credit card, because you can't go out, you don't want to go out, this might be very interesting to you. Let's speak with the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Governor Ben Diokno, and let's request him to be our banking and finance professor for the morning. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, Cito. Good morning.
Pasensya ka na, sir. Ikaw ang takbuhan ko pag magpapaturo ako sa banking and finance. You have a plan to come up with you have come up with a policy to put a cap on credit card charges or interest?
Well, alam mo, Cito, this is part of our overall plan. To give context lang sa mga reforma namin, no? Gusto ko sana tayo ay mag-shift from a cash-heavy to a cash-light economy. No? So, ang goal is by the end of my term, which is 2023, 50% of all transactions, both in value at saka number of transactions, will be in digital form. hindi na yung cash. So, kung isang reforma nga na ito, we want to make the credit card more or less easier. It will help ease the financial burden of Filipino households. At malimit lang gagamitin yung kanilang credit card dahil bababa natin yung interest rate. Kasi tinignan ko yung kinumpare ko yung interest rate na tinacharge dito sa Pilipinas kumpara doon sa tinatawag natin ASEAN 6, no, yung pinakamalalaking bansa dito sa Asia, sa ASEAN area. Pilipinas, annual percentage rate, 42%. Yun ang sinacharge natin. Ang Singapore, 27.5%, Vietnam, 26.3%, Indonesia, 24.5%, yung Thailand, 18%, at recently lang, noong Agosto lang, binaba nila yung sa 16%, ngayon Malaysia, 15.2%. So naisip ko na siguro dapat lagyan natin ng cap yung interest rate. So that's a maximum of 2% per month. Yung bali ang bagong rate na will be effective sa November 3rd. Yun ang reform na ginagawa namin. At tapos doon sa cash advance, di ba, yung bawat credit card, pero cash advance, hindi natin maintindihan kung magkano yung ini-impose yung processing fee, iba-iba. Sabi ko, walang ibang charges, kundi maximum of 200 pesos per transaction. Ibig sabihin, maximum, yung iba, kung gusto nila mas mababa, okay lang sa amin.
Okay, so bali, well, hindi naman one half, pero hindi naman paano yun? 24 from 46 to 24, aba hindi ba nagwala yung mga credit card company sa Governor Diokno?
Yeah, dati kasi maabot yun ng monthly charge nila, maabot ng 3.5% sa ibang cards. Yung iba mas mababa, no? So ngayon, maximum na yung 2%. So from maabot pa ng mga, tama, 3.5% per month, ginawa na namin maximum of 2% per month. So ngayon, kasi mas mababa na, mas affordable, siguro by in time for the Christmas season, baka mag-umpisa na mag-charge itong mga kababayan natin.
Okay, paano po, Governor, pag kasi hindi ba may parang mga penalties, etc., lalo na yung mga hindi nakakabayad on time, did you also put a cap on penalties or yung kasi may mga alam akong sistema nung iba, bibigyan ka ng kunyari discount dito pero babawiin naman sa kabila. Paano yan dyan?
Medyo choppy yung dating mo. Anyway, yung mga hindi nakakabayad, meron tayo doon sa Bayanihan 2, yung grace period na 60 days, ano? This is parang after to Bayanihan 1, natatanda mo sa Bayanihan 1, we extended, we have a grace period of 30 days, tapos in-extend another 30 days, so 60 days yun. Ito panibago, no? Dahil doon sa batas na ka-approve ng Kongreso, meron din credit card accommodation doon na meron kayong one-time 60-day grace period for all existing, maliwanag to, existing current and outstanding loans with credit card na. Ang ibig sabihin nun, dapat current, hindi, kung ikaw ay delinquente na, hindi ka mag-benefit dito sa provision nito ng batas.
Okay. So sa kasalukuyan, hindi yung talbog-talbog kaliwa kanan ka na, ngayon ka lang hahabol. Anyway, Governor Diokno, what about this integrated bills payment system?
Alam mo, yun yung parang pinaka-framework nito. Marami kasi tayong reforma dito sa payment system, no? Payments and settlement system. So, yung sinasabi natin integrated, pinalalawak lang natin yung sa kasalukuyan, meron na tayong tinatawag na InstaPay and PesoNet. Yung InstaPay was effective November 2017 At yun naman PesoNet, mas malaking amount yun, April 2018, no? At yan ay tumatakbo na yan ngayon. Yung InstaPay ay this is an electronic fund transfer where your funds are credited to kung sino yung babayaran mo. At ang meron itong maximum. Maximum nito is 50,000. So, each transaction. Pero kung halimbawa, babayaran ka na 200,000, then 4 na transaction lang yun. Basta may limit lang 50,000. Ito, real time. Real time. So instead of maggawa ka ng cheque, ito na lang through electronic transfer, in real time matatransfer mo ngayon. No? Yun naman PesoNet, mas malaki ang amount involved. Magbabayad ka ng 2 million, gano'n. Halos walang limit yun. At ito naman, the following day, kung hindi, meron kasing cut-off time yan eh. So, but kung ba, maaga mo ginawa yung transaction today, makikredit din yan, makukumpleto rin yung transaction mo today. But kung halimbawa, mga medyo alas 4 mo na ginawa, the following day na yan. So, that tinatawag na PesoNet. Ito, during the pandemic, Cito, alam mo, talagang ang daming gumamit nito, no? So, in fact, tinitingnan ko yung 1 year na from August 2019 hanggang August 2020, talagang nagkaroon ng quantum jump in the use of InstaPay at saka PesoNet in volume and in value. For example, over the 12 months, yung InstaPay expanded by 820%, no? From 3.2 million to 29 million transactions. Now, in value, tumaas yung InstaPay ng 499%, no? From 24 billion, naging 141 billion during that 1 year period. Yung naman PesoNet, ay lumago rin niya ng 143% in terms of transaction from 1.1 million, tumaas siya ng 2.7 million, yung mga gumagamit niya. And in terms of value, by 114% from 118 billion to 253 billion. Talagang nagamit ng mga tao. So, ngayon, bago na talaga ang behavior ng mga kababayan natin, ayaw na nila yung face-to-face transactions. So, ngayon, InstaPay na lang at saka PesoNet yung ginagamit. Ngayon, yung sinasabi natin integrated payment system, pinapalawak pa natin yun. So, meron tayo ngayon tinatawag na QRPH. No? Kasi maraming umiikot na QR eh. No? Ngayon, standardize na natin yun. So, darating ang araw na pwede ka na magbayad ng fare mo sa tricycle, sa jeepney, namamalengke ka, pwede na yung QR. Tapos, sinabayan na rin natin yung tinatawag na e-GovPay. No? So, yung mga tao naman na gusto magbayad sa magbabayad halimbawa ng buwis sa BIR, magbabayad ng fees sa seat, yun, pwede na rin yan. So, pinapalawak natin talaga. So, this is a point system doon sa gusto nating mangyari na maging cash light ang transaction from cash heavy to cash light.
Okay, what about safety assurances na kasi may mga magsasabi, nagbayad ako pero sasabihin ng provider, wala naman hong pumasok eh. Yung bang mga because of the technology delays, etc. What are the safety nets?
Alam mo, pinag-aralan ng Bangko Sentral Lito with the help of the industry. So iniisip din natin yun. Dapat yung payment system hindi lang efficient but safe. So nilalagyan talaga natin ng mga appropriate safety net. So mapapansin mo pag nag-charge ka sa meron ka may matatanggap kang may matatanggap ka na
Confirmation?
PAN-TP, gano'n, at saka confirmation, hindi ba? Those are the safeguards na nilalagay natin. And we continue to enhance these measures para nga magkaroon ng kumpiyansa ang tao na gumamit nitong mga modern ways of transacting business.
Okay, well, that's both good news, Governor. Any other announcements? Thank you. Maraming salamat na pinabawasan mo ang interest rates per month and basically annual total amount sa credit card, and that the BSP is doing these reforms for integrated bills payment. Anything else, Governor?
Well, yung during the crisis, nakiusap kami sa mga bangko na i-waive nila yung mga fees dito sa personal and InstaPay, at sila naman ay pumayag, no? Kasi kailangan talaga ng kababayan natin na mas safe na payment system. So nakiusap kami sa kanila na huwag na sila mag-charge ng fees. Waive nila in fact yung fees. Dapat yan natapos na yan noong July, pero sabi nila, pwede bang extend natin? Yung ibang bangko, nag-extend sila hanggang hapon, pero marami pa rin bangko na nag-extend hanggang end of December. So nasa website namin ngayon yun, kung sino yung mga bangko na yun at magkano yung sinacharge nila. Halimbawa, yung iba nagcha-charge lang ng 25 pesos, yung iba 10 pesos per transaction. Kasi Sito, isipin mo naman, kung ikaw ay pupunta sa bangko, di ba, magkakotsi ka or tapos yung face-to-face transaction, yung time mo, importante rin yun. So siguro yung 10 pesos na charge dun sa transaction, okay na, no? Pero dahil nakiusap kami, sinabi nila, i-waive nila hanggang end of the year. I think may mga bangko na sabi nila hindi na sila magcha-charge ever, no? Forever, hindi sila magcha-charge transaction na yun. So maganda rin development yun. But in the meantime, for the full information of our countrymen, nilagay namin sa website kung sino-sino yung mga bangko na yon na hindi magcha-charge hanggang mag-waive sila ng fees hanggang katapusan ng taon na ito.
Okay, paano naman, Governor, yung balita, uutang daw yung national government sa Bangko Sentral ng 500, magkano ba yun? 540 billion. Alam ko, marami kang dollars, pero marami ka bang peso dyan, Governor?
540 billion pesos yun. No? Actually, yan ay isang measure na ngayon pa lang natin gagamitin. Kasi nakalagay naman sa batas yan na pwede nang magpautang ang Bangko Sentral sa national government ng equivalent to the average income of the national government for the last 3 years. And yun, kinompute namin yun last May or last March rather, ay 540 billion yun. Pero kasi nagkagipitan nga dahil unang-una dahil because of the crisis, bumaba yung collection ng Treasury, ng Department of Finance. At pangalawa, malaki ang gastos ng gobyerno dahil dito sa pandemic. So kung siya ay manghihiram sa merkado, katakot-takot ang taas ng interest rate niyan. Kawawa naman ang bayan natin. So nakalagay sa batas yun. Pwede namin silang pautangin up to 540 billion pesos. Pero nabuti ng Treasury na hindi namin siguro kailangan yung 540, pwede ba 300 lang muna. And then pinautang namin ng 300 for 3 months pero renewable for another 3 months. So yun, nag-mature na yung loan na yun sa kanila. Yung tinatawag namin na accommodation sa kanila yesterday, no? And so ngayon, nagkaroon na naman silang panibagong request. So tapos na yung 300. Ngayon, sabi niya, pwede ba yung 540? They will take advantage of that. So ngayon, siguro di-discuss namin sa Monetary Board baka today or maybe next week. Papairamin din namin. Malaking, alam mo, this is to be used only in extraordinary times. And these are the extraordinary times, di ba? Kasi nga, sabi ko nga, kung sila pupunta sa merkado, manghihiram, tataas yung interest rate. Sino magsasuffer na? Magsasuffer doon in the first place yung gobyerno. Pangalawa, yung mga businessmen din, sa mga kababayan natin na manghihiram kung mataas ang interest rate. Alam mo ngayon, Sito, makita mo, napakababa na ng interest rate. This is the lowest interest rate. Yung policy rate, 2.25%. Never in the history of the country na gumano ng interest rate natin. So yun ang nature ng ng pagpapahiram natin sa national government. But this is provided for in the law. At tapos dito naman sa bayanihan 2, meron namang additional may provision diyan na sabi pwede pa magpahiram ang central bank ng 10% no, of the average income for the last 3 years, pero hindi pa naman gagamitin ng wala pa indication kung gagamitin ng Department of Finance yun. Yun naman talagang specific lang dito sa COVID-19 pandemic. So hindi niya binago yung charter ng BSP, nakalagay lang doon talaga for this temporary time-bound use lang of additional 10% of the average income.
Okay, well, I definitely learned something new today because I didn't realize that akala ko kasi kung uutang yung gobyerno, magsasabi lang, Gob, utang kami. Yung pala, kailangan teka, magkano ba kinita ninyo? Para malinaw kung magkano yung kaya nyong kitahin at bayaran. Pagkatapos, meron palang batas na hindi ka pwedeng basta-basta magpautang only for a national emergency such as COVID-19. And then pagka naibigay na yung pera na yon, ano na nga ba yung pangatlo? Nako, ako'y nauulyani na ako ngayon. So they must have based on their track record, it must be for a national emergency and better to borrow from the BSP and keep it within the family and not ruin the interest rates for the general economy. Ayun. Thank you very much, Professor and Governor. May natutunan na naman kami again this morning, sir. Congratulations for doing such a great job there in the BSP.
Thank you. Keep safe and stay home.
Okay, thank you very much, Governor. I will take that to heart. Have a good day and God bless you, sir. Okay, yan po si Governor Ben Diokno. Alam nyo, medyo tinamaan ako dun sa last statement ni Governor Ben. Keep safe and stay home. Kasi alam nyo mga kaibigan, 3 na sa kilala ko, personally kilala ko, nakakahalubilo ko from time to time, hindi naman regular. May dumidistansya rin ako. Tinamaan na ng COVID. So COVID has come too close to home and I'm really very paranoid about it nowadays. So in the past few days. In any case, puntahan na po natin ang ating pwede na puntahan na po natin ang next guest natin. Ito naman, for those of you who are political science majors, for those of you who like to talk about politics and leadership strategy and tactics, pag-usapan natin, anyari. Ano nangyari doon sa usapan ni Presidente Duterte, ni Congressman Velasco, ni Congressman Cayetano about yung transition ng speakership. We have with us Congressman, Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza. Sir, good morning po.
Cito, good morning at mabuhay.
Okay, medyo na pakinggan ko yung mga binigay mong interview kahapon sa radyo. Baka pwede naman ninyong paliwanagan sa ating viewers and listeners what is really going on. We were under the impression, in fact, I mentioned it, even showed the newspaper, that there will now be a smooth transition. Ano po ba nangyari?
That's what it was supposed to be. That was supposed to be the agreed plan of action. A smooth transition and a turnover that would happen on October 14 when Speaker Cayetano steps down, not resigns. He steps down from the speakership. Yung po naman ay napagkaisahan na naman, agreement. Again, ang presidente na naman ang third man in the ring. Para din yung July 2019, yung original agreement. But again, kahapon ng hapon, nakita natin, sinira yung salita. At bago na naman ang senaryo ngayon. Meron pang drama tayong napanood na nagbitiw. Magbibitiw na ako ngayon, hindi October 14. So what's the point? Kaya ako, boto ko, hindi ka dapat magbitiw. Tapusin mo ang trabaho mo. You have until October 14 to do that, finish the budget, and finish all the pending matters, bago ka bumaba. Hindi maganda yung parang may pagdadabog at meron talagang kasungitan. Bababa na ako ngayon, hindi sa 14. I don't like that kind of an attitude. I'm sorry to say, Speaker Cayetano, I'm not your fan sa ugaling ganyan. Ikaw ay nakipagkasunduan ng July 2019. Ayaw mo tumubad. Okay. Dumating tayo ngayon sa puntong ito. Pero kayong pinagkasunduan sa Malacanang na ngayon idinideny mo na naman. Hindi naman daw siya pumayag ng October 14. Sinabi mo kahapon sa talumpati mo October 14 dapat ako'y bababa, pero ngayon ayoko na. Yun, aminin mo, ayaw mo bumaba, ayaw mo taparin yung salita mo. Kaya Sito, marami nangyayari sa Kongreso ngayon na hindi maganda at hindi dapat nating pabayaan mangyari. Sapagkat kung hindi wala pupuntahan ng ating Kongreso, pag humina ang Kongreso, hihina na demokrasya sa ating bansa.
Well, ang tanong ko dyan, Congressman, and I have to be honest, it is with difficulty that I try to be objective on the matter because I too have my sentiments. But be that as it may anong palagay mo? What is your reading of this? Because, if you enter into an agreement with the president, regardless of whether the president should meddle or not in the affairs of Congress, nangyari na yung nangyari. Now, with Cayetano and his associates doing what they did yesterday, is this a test of President Duterte, or is this telling us that President Duterte has essentially become a lame duck, a political lame duck, because now the congressmen are saying, well, we love you, we respect you, pero no, we're not going to give up our toys.
Alam nyo, they're treading on very soft grounds. Because ang pinag-usapan dito, an issue which every Filipino will adhere. Palabra de honor. Yung binitiwan mong salita, panindigan mo. Yun din naman ay ginigit na Pangulo. Panindigan nyo mga salita nyo. Ako na mag-iitan sa inyo noong July, ng isang taon. Ngayon, tuplin nyo yung inyong mga pangako. Ngayon, susuwayin nila yan, and it looks like ganun ang direksyon. They will not abide by the agreement, and they will challenge Velasco, mag-showdown vote tayo kung gusto mo. Which is not fair, because in July, Cayetano had no vote. Hindi naman siya ang popular na gusto naming speaker. Naglalaban si Martin Romualdez at si Velasco. Pero sa pakikialam ng Pangulo, naging si Cayetano. Sabi nga ng tanong nga ng marami, saan galing yan? Bigla na lang number one. Anyway, the rest is history. So do not cite, I don't want you to cite numbers game, because you had no numbers when you assumed the speakership. You have to admit to yourself that only because of the president you became a speaker. Ngayon, kung ipipilit ko, hindi, kailangan mag-eleksyon kami. Velasco has every right to say, aminin mo muna, sumisira ang salita mo. You're making it appear na kailangan maglaban tayo. Hindi tayo maglalaban dahil yun ang ating pinirmahan. For God and country, sabi natin. O ngayon, for God and country, gumagawa kayo ng ibang istorya. Aminin mo na ayaw mong tumupad sa salita mo, tapos maglaban tayo. Let records stand first on itself. Let the truth first be known by everyone.
Hello?
Telenovela. Napanood ko yung telenovela. The drama of the presumed rejection of a resignation.
But is this, Congressman?
At this point in time,
Yeah.
the move is really the president. I would urge the president, if they are testing your mettle and your power today, it's up to you to approve or disapprove that. But I would say the president should continue his role in settling this issue.
Yeah, because in the papers, Harry Roque already said that the president said, hands off tayo dyan, huwag tayong makialam. That's why medyo natanong ko yung lame duck presidency
Well,
because, you know, that
pag hindi nakialam ang presidente at hindi siya pinakinggan ni Cayetano, gano'n na nalalabas siya. You cannot deny anymore. Nobody's listening to him. Does he want that kind of a role? Will he allow insincerity to win over a gentleman's agreement? Maraming mga fundamental issues involved dyan, Cito. And
Yeah.
meron pa siya 2 years of leadership and managing the affairs of the country. Eh, magkaka-epekto yan sa pananaw ng tao sa kanyang kakayahan bilang isang leader.
Okay. Do you honestly believe na yung nangyari kahapon sa Congress was a telenovela or was it a coup d'etat, a well-planned or well-thought of, it looked like a telenovela, but the effect was a coup d'etat?
Yes, both. It was a telenovela as it was presented, but it is a coup plot as it was planned. Yung coup, nung palumalabas yan eh. At sino gumagawa niyan? Sila. Ang kanila yung binibigay na bintang, si Velasco. Nanggugulo ka, tumigil ka ng panggugulo dyan, ha? 2 beses, pinalalabas nila merong coup plot. Yung coup plot, sila nagpaplano noon. Sila ang mag-execute. Eh, hindi kumakagat ang mga members of Congress. Hindi kumakagat ang bayan. So, hindi nila maituloy. Pero ngayon, para bagang place in a corner, pinilit na nila. What happened yesterday is a coup. They planned it from within to make it appear that he was resigning and then Congress rejecting his resignation.
You said...
Bumoto ko ng rejection of his resignation. Does that make me a Cayetano sympathizer? No. I voted no because you cannot resign just like that.
Hello? Okay, mukhang nawala yung signal natin kasi let's try to restore the signal of Congressman Atienza because I want to go to a very important statement that Congressman Atienza said yesterday na regarding the number of votes. If I remember, Congressman Atienza said that the vote was 184, and I think that was what was in the news, 184, but and only one against. Pero sabi ni Congressman Atienza, I don't know kung makukuha natin ulit si Congressman Atienza, pero sabi niya, paano nangyaring 184 ang boto, 111 lang ang nakalista doon daw sa sa tablet or whatever yung data na kay Congressman Atienza. And okay, Congressman Atienza, I hope you're back.
What I could call the magic of the internet.
Okay, liwanagin. Sandali lang, sir.
You can make up your own majority. So many answered yes, so many presented themselves. And nare-record yan. 111 ang attendance, ang bumoto 194. And the miracle of the magic one of the present leadership of Congress.
Okay, I mean, you know,
independable, doubtful pa rin yung whatever happened yesterday.
Okay, kinukutya mo sila dyan. Medyo, kumbaga, iniinis mo sila regarding that detail. But it's a serious, I don't know if it's a serious, I would call it accusation, but it's a serious assertion. You're saying there's only 111 in the quorum. We have a 184 votes, etc., plus one abstention, plus one opposition, and so many abstention. Parang you're basically saying nagkalokohan dito, nagkadayaan.
Matagal na nangyayari yan, Cito, sa Kongreso. They make up a quorum when there is none. They pass legislation illegally and unconstitutionally. And I kept on questioning that nung face-to-face pa ang aming sesyon. And ngayon, via Zoom, I was questioning the quorum. I couldn't even be heard because they muted me. Kaya sinasabi ko, huwag tayong gagawa ng anumang sensitive matter via Zoom dahil ang dali-daling mamanipulate ang resulta. The presence of a quorum is basic, necessary in legislation. Without a quorum, the legislative matters approved or acted on may be considered illegally acted on. So kahapon wala quorum, pero nagkaroon kami ng some kind of a major decision. Keep Speaker Cayetano as Speaker. Who said it? 194 who voted, participated. No, but there was only 111 recorded in the computers having answered to the call or in attendance. Saan galing additional votes? Yun ang aking tanong. Sagutin nila.
Can it be invalidated?
But I did not get any chance because my computer was muted. It's as simple as turning off your connection to the Secretariat of Congress. So I stand by my word. My computer will never lie. And I was questioning it all the way. I couldn't even be given the chance to do so because they muted me.
Okay, Congressman, last question ko na lang po. Kasi ang isang tinanong sa akin, bakit ba pinaglalaban ng patayan itong speakership na ito? Is it because may planong tumakbong presidente?
That's one of the best questions we can ask. I think we should ask Cayetano that question. Bakit ba parang ayaw mo bumitaw? Why? Ha? Ako tatanungin mo from a simple point of view, common sense point of view. Ayaw niya bumitaw dahil meron siyang ambisyon sa politika 2022. Siguro gusto niya humarap sa 2022 as Speaker of the House. Iba dating mo pag meron kang posisyon katulad yun. You are number 3, number 4 in the ranking in the land, bureaucracy. So therefore, you are going to join the 2022 contest with from a higher position.
Okay.
Yan ang pinaglalaban dyan.
Oh, sige.
Pero kung gusto mo talaga ng trabaho, o ayaw mo magtrabaho, huwag kang sumali dyan sa labanan yan. Speakership is a big task.
Okay.
Pero
Well,
ayan ang paraan. Number 4 ka na eh. Baka sakali makachamba ka, maging number 2, number 1 ka. Sabi ko naman sir, may pagka-magician to si Speaker Cayetano. From nowhere, bigla na lang naging speaker. From nowhere, baka 2022, bantayan natin ang galaw nito.
Okay. Thank you very much, Congressman. And we will continue to monitor the situation. Sana po, at the end of the day, magkaayos-ayos. And thank you for your time. Congressman Lito, Atienza, Buhay Party List. Okay.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, sir. Ayun po, no? Pero we will go to our next guest. We will take a quick break. Kanya lang, kung meron sa inyo magaling dyan sa history ng politics of the Philippines, ilan ba sa Pilipinas ang nag-Speaker of the House na actually naging presidente ng Pilipinas? Kasi alam ko, 2 na yung kilala ko personally na nag-ambisyon maging presidente, na naging Speaker of the House, nag-ambisyon maging presidente, but did not become president. Okay, we'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back here on Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Signal TV, channels 8 and 250. Next up, we have someone who has had 20 years of experience heading Metro Pacific Investment Corporation's Public and Media Relations, Corporate Communications, Advertising, and Corporate Social Responsibility, mukhang naging plantita na rin. Tanungin natin si Ma'am Melody Del Rosario, President of MPIC Foundation. Miss Melody, good morning.
Good morning, sir. My idol, Chito.
Mukhang malayo sa itsura mo, matawag na tita eh. Masyado ka pang bata. Pero could you, because we have a little time left because of all of these issues, I want to give you the platform regarding the program of Metro Pacific in terms of plants and planting. Ano yan?
We've been doing a lot of distribution during the lockdown, no, for the past 5 months, no. So lahat ng mga areas pinupuntahan namin, mga underserved, mga tourism sector na hindi nakakatanggap ng mga ayuda sa Batangas, sa Zamboanga. At during that course of distribution ng mga food packs at saka PPEs, na-realize namin na I think dapat gawa tayo ng program kung saan ang mga beneficiaries ay magiging self-reliant, no? So that goes with the saying na give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. So naisip namin na turuan natin ang mga tao ng Bayan Tanim, and we partnered with the Department of Agriculture kung saan meron silang advocacy or a program na plant at saka urban gardening, and Agrea na siyang nagsusupply at kinukuhanan namin ng mga plant crate seedlings, no? So inisip din namin, sabi ko, baka naman kung magpa-plant sila matagal pa kasi syempre magkakaroon pa ng pag-cultivate mo pa, tatanim mo pa. So inisip din namin, mga gutom din kasi yung ating mga mamamayan at mga, 'di ba, kasama sa ating mga CSR advocacies na binibigyan. So nagbigay din kami ng gulay together with the plant crates para mas ma-motivate sila, no, na makita nila, okay, ito na yung tatanim ko at may makakain na rin ako at the same time.
I got the package that your office sent. Merong spice, ewan ko, merong mga bagay-bagay na ngayon pa lang ako nakakita sa buong buhay. Sabi ko, ano ba ito? Fertilizer ba ito? Planting material? Parang kompleto yung dekahon na yon. Yun yung mga binibigay ninyo dun sa mga beneficiaries.
Yes, yun ang binibigyan namin sa beneficiaries. Tatlong theme yan. Una is the sinigang. So lahat ng mga gulay na pangsigang ay nando doon. Ang nakuha mo ay ang Italian mix. So puro mga herbs yan. Pag nagluto ka ng spaghetti, pwede mo nalagay yung mamitas-mitas ka na kasi ready na yung mga seedlings and plants na nakasama. And then the third is the pinakbet na theme. No? So lahat yan may manual, and together with the Department of Agriculture, they're giving us additional soilless mix and seeds. Tapos dalawa yan Chito, meron kaming community-based na donation kung saan ang mga communities ay magtutulong-tulong. So mga maramihan yan, 100 to 200 crates ang binibigay namin per area or per LGU partner. Ngayon, meron namang isang component na parang ikaw lang, kung gusto mong mag-donate, magbibigay ka ng 500 pesos kasi yun ang cost ng crate, tapos pwede mo yan ibigay sa tingin mong taong mas nangangailangan at matutulungan mo pa.
So parang bumili ka ng crate sa Bayan Tanim and then ibibigay mo dun sa driver mo o dun sa basurero, etc. Okay, kamusta naman yung reception? Kasi alam mo, before COVID-19, nako, itong mga Pilipino, galit sa gulay, galit tamad magtanim. Ngayon parang nakaikot ako kahapon, lahat ng naikutan ko, kada kanto may tanim na binebenta. Kayo, namimigay kayo.
True. This pandemic, nakita natin nagkaroon na ng plantdemic, no? Lahat na nga ng kanto ay nagkaroon na ng mga gulay. So, maganda ang reception kasi ito naman ay mamomotivate sila dun sa mismo nilang mga backyard na magtanim. We have already given about 350 crates. We are targeting 1,000 crates for the next month, and we have already collected donations amounting to 250,000. So ang target namin is about 3 million based on our fund campaign approval from DSWD na kasi kailangan meron ka munang ganyang approvals, no? So, yun yung target namin na at least ma-reach namin para more people can benefit from this. Ang mga partners namin, syempre, of course, the MVP group, tulong-tulong yan. Ang First Pacific, ang LRT, ang MPTC, yan. Lahat kami within the group ni Boss MVP ay nagtutulong-tulong.
Okay, pero ano ba ang qualifications para maging recipient ka niyan? Kasi I am sure right now marami tayong viewer na nag-iisip, Sito, ba't kami hindi kasali? Mahilig din kami magtanim.
Okay, so for communities, ang kailangan lang po, especially parang yung mga within the LGU, mga barangay, or mas maganda po kung buong city, sulatan lang po kami dahil madami pong companies within the MVP group ang located within the areas, gagaya po ng One Meralco, ang PLDT Smart. Tutulong po sila para maka-reach sa inyo ang mga plant rates for your communities. Para naman po sa individual na mga gustong magtanim, meron po kaming Facebook pages ng Metro Pacific Investments Foundation at sa Instagram po. Yun po ang dalawang platform sa internet kung saan makakita niyo po ang kung papaano magdi-deposit ng amount at ibibigay din po sa inyo i-deliver din po sa inyo ang mga crates ng vegetables.
What about the reverse melody? Because I have many friends na mga retirees, nagbilihan ng lote, nagtayo ng kanilang farm, at tapos ay na-discover nila, nako po, ang dami kong pananim, anong gagawin ko dito? I mean, parang reverse ba? There are people who could function as your nursery. Do you have a concept where people can enlist and say, okay, Miss Melody, I can supply you tomato seedlings. Katulad ako, nagtanim ako ng seedlings. Ayun, nagkalantahan na lang lahat kasi 100 yata yung tumubo. Sabi ko, ewan, ano gagawin natin dyan? Tinanim nyo lahat yan, buto eh.
Yes, sir. For communities po, dahil partner natin ang Department of Agriculture, meron po silang mga trainings no na igagawin na kung saan pwede din tayong magtayo ng community market. So napaka-importante po yan na magiging self-sufficient ang mga communities at mamamarket nila yung kanilang natanggap sa amin, no? So we keep track of those things. Pati po lahat ng mga crates, we keep track of all those para po the Department of Agriculture would have an audit, kumbaga audit system kung talaga pong nabigay namin yan. So
okay.
ang support po is not just from giving, meron pa pong second phase, lalo na po dun sa mga communities na naka-benefit po ng bayan tanim.
Okay, so kunyari may yung mga kaibigan ko mag-decide, Sito, pwede naming supplyan si Melody ng mga seedlings, tatawag din sa inyo. Ganun
Yes,
lang.
sir. Opo, pwede. Mas gusto po namin yung ganyan dahil po we are trying to make a shorter channel ng food supply para po di ba? Nakita natin na we've experienced that kung paano naputol ang ating food supply because nagka-lockdown. So kung meron po within the Metro Manila area na makakapagbigay po or makakabili din po kami ng mga gulay, mas maganda po 'yun para po mas masusupplyan natin ng masustansyang pagkain at the same time long term din po ang ating goal na makapagtanim or magkaroon ng planting nation.
Okay, now sa Bayan Tanim, where is your next intended distribution point or pupuntahan ninyo?
Natutuwa kami kasi po ang partner po namin dito is Alagang Kapatid. So si Kamenchi Silvestre po ay madaming connection niya ng mga parishes, no? So madaming parishes na din po kami napuntahan. So ang gusto po namin kasi talaga is to really go around Metro Manila for now bago kami magpunta dun sa other areas namin. Usually po naman outside Metro Manila. So parishes po ay napakagandang mga target areas.
Okay, and any challenge? Saan ba, ano ba yung levels of difficulty in trying to get this out there?
Opo, ang challenge po namin talaga ay for the individual donors, no? So we are trying to partner with yung ating mga bagong distribution channels kagaya po ng Grab at Shopee. Ina-arrange na po namin sa kanila yung mga ganong arrangement. Yun po ang nagiging challenge talaga namin. And of course, maintaining yung seedlings kasi po mabilis pong lumaki ang seedlings. Once na natanim mo sila, 1 or 2 weeks po, malaki na sila, no? So, nagiging challenge po yung talagang paano sila dadalhin na hindi sila masisira.
Ayun, okay. Well, I mean, that's a lesson, Melody, kasi alam ko yan personally. Nagtanim ako ng mga eggplants, pinatransfer ko, etc. Tapos nakalimutan ko dahil may ginawa ko ibang project. Pagbalik ko, ayun, ginawang salad ng caterpillar. Kainis. In any case, I just want to encourage your group because that makes a big difference. And mananawagan tayo sa mga viewers in Metro Manila, yung mga maraming sobrang pananim dyan, na magtatanim kayo ng tomato, lettuce, pagkatapos ang umusbong ay 100, aanin mo yung 100 puno ng lettuce, nag-iisa ka sa bahay. Beltran, anong ginagawa mo? Okay, thank you very much, Melody, and congratulations to the foundation. Please let us know if you are going to go to some location, you need some exposure, we're here for you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, that's Miss Melody Del Rosario, na presidente ng Metro Pacific Investments Foundation Incorporated. And ayun po, no, sila ay namimigay. Natanggap ko, hindi ko lang nakuna ng picture, nasa taas na kasi merong, ewan ko, hindi naman, basil ba yun or something. Basta sabi nga ni Melody, pang spaghetti. Okay, nandoon na lahat. Tsaka mataas na yung halaman. Pinamimigay po nila yan sa mga iba-ibang lugar, sa Metro Manila first because I guess the system is set up in Metro Manila and there are more than 1 million families who are in that situation. They need these plants. Kailangan tayong magtanim. And I just want to encourage all of you out there, please plant and please share. Wag lang yung hanggang Facebook lang ang share ninyo, no? Mag-share kayo sa tunay na buhay. Kasi alam niyo pag naturuan niyo yung mga tao magtanim, ako, yung mga security guard dito, pumupunta na sa akin, Kuyang, pahingi naman ng pantanim ng talong o pantanim ng tomato, etc. Namamatay na sa'yo. Sige, ubusin mo. Okay? Thank you very much. And please pray. Please thank the good Lord for your health, for your well-being, and to my friends who have COVID-19. I know you are on the road to recovery. To my friends who are moving about, being very active, please be careful kasi ito reality na ito. 3 na sa mga kaibigan ko may tama na ng COVID. Paawa ng Diyos, medyo okay naman sila ngayon, and we have to be careful. Take care of your loved ones. Don't forget to show your love to your loved ones. I'm Cito Beltran, and that's today's agenda.
Yung face shield, naka-RL.
Yes, ma'am. Ralph Lauren. Ramon Lopez.
I know.
Ito, right park to. Miss Chiggy. Parang wala lang, parang ghost town.
Oo nga, nakakatakot.
Wala pa. Bukas pa may darating na.